Hi, Onward families. The purpose of this workshop is to go through our whole family's science study. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking through what this curriculum looks like, how we developed it, and how it will be used here at Onward. We have created our very own science curriculum with the hopes that students will be excited to explore the wonders of God's creation. While we use a few good and beautiful science unit studies, as well as science resources, our approach is much more hands-on and discovery-based as opposed to traditional textbook learning. At Onward, we have four main goals when studying science. We want children to be drawn to the beauty and majesty of God as we study the complex, beautiful, and ordered nature of His creation. We want to make science interesting to the children. We want to find ways to make science relevant and exciting to them. We want science to be studied in a tangible, hands-on environment. We can teach children about the parts of a flower from a textbook, or we can give them a flower and let them dissect it as we discuss what each part might do and why God made it that way. We want to encourage inquisition and self-discovery. Rather than pushing information at students, we want to ask questions and build interest as we facilitate a process of discovery and exploration. We want our students to be the scientists, not only learn how other scientists have already solved things, though yes, we will still learn about how it's done, but not before giving children the opportunity to inquire, explore, experiment, and discover. We want our students to use science, not merely study it. We want to encourage them to ask questions, then to test and see what the outcome was compared to what they thought it might be. Essentially, we want to encourage the gifts they already have while adding some direction, guidance, and expertise to their inquisitive scientific nature. So how the curriculum has been structured. We have created a combination approach to studying science. We've reviewed popular science curricula and the topics they cover over a 4-year cycle, in addition to studying some of the methodology of popular homeschool approaches, such as Charlotte Mason and classical. We've given thought to our own philosophy of education and how we believe children learn best, and have attempted to use a more progressive, multi-format approach. There are many great and free resources on the internet, so we wanted to take advantage of those and also give children the opportunity to experience information in a multi-dimensional format, technological, literature-based, and hands-on, with both independent learning and formal teaching. Additionally, we wanted to incorporate teaching one science topic to children across grade levels so that they all get to study the same things at home together. This led us to a 4-year science cycle that touches on all major topics while spending more time on the topics that children often enjoy the most. We've also incorporated time for review of major topics each year so that children don't go 4 years without touching on topics such as the solar system or the human body. Lastly, we've given a variety of structure throughout the year to teachers. Some topics will have a moderate amount of structure through a general framework and a great deal of freedom on how to teach it. Some will have a minimal amount of structure, such as the 4-week nature study every year. And some will have a good deal of structure through the unit studies provided by the good and the beautiful. In these lessons, we would still encourage teachers to make it their own. So this year, we are in year 1 of our 4-year cycle, and the topics that we will be covering are an introduction to science for 2 weeks, botany and plants for 8 weeks, animals covering kingdoms and classification for 6 weeks, a winter nature study for 5 weeks that will include a fun unit on dissecting an owl pellet, universe review for 2 weeks, and then a physics and energy unit for 12 weeks that will cover topics such as energy, light, heat, and sound. So a little bit about understanding our science plan. We're very excited about what our students study in science throughout our 4-year cycle. Since the program is Onward created, it may be more difficult for you as the parent to know the content of our curriculum. We want you to know that what we will be studying for the year so that you can get excited about what we are learning this year as well. Here in the video, there is a link that outlines our year 1 science framework. This is our detailed breakdown by week of our science topics and goals, as well as resources for the entire year. Take some time to look over the framework and think through any ways that your family can explore the topics together, whether it be field trips, science experiments, library trips, or movies to watch together. What you can expect on the home days. We will study science on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday schedule for our Monday, Wednesday cohort, or a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday schedule for our Tuesday, Thursday cohort. The goal of each day will be the following. Though not all of these will be possible on any given week, this is the general framework that you can expect. On Monday, Tuesday, in the classroom, teachers will be piquing students' interest, getting children asking questions, exploring, and preparing for any experiments or hands-on activities they may be doing. On Tuesday, Wednesday, while at home with you, there will be a simple format for you to follow that we go through: ask, watch, and read. The first is there will be a question listed for you to ask your child. This is a question that is specific to your child's teacher, to their class, and it will pertain to what the students were learning in class on this topic. The second part, watch, is to watch videos from our Onward YouTube playlist. The link will be right in the lesson plans, and you can click on this, and it will bring you to the videos for the week that go along with the topic of study. The third thing is to read pages from book selections. This should take between 10 and 20 minutes. Teachers will put in the book that you can read over with your child. Sometimes there will be specific page numbers listed. Other times they will reference the book and you will have the freedom to flip through it and explore topics. On Wednesday, Thursday, back in the classroom, teachers will be doing experiments, analyzing, concluding, summarizing from their experiments, reading. They may do a craft or have journal activity. So each week, the teacher is given a general topic and a learning objective. The teacher then takes the topic and decides the best way for their age group to explore and hypothesize, craft, and experiment. So in the classroom, your student is getting to work hands-on in a fun way that's created by their teacher. As I mentioned above, we've got weekly YouTube playlists that have been created for the weekly topics. When creating these playlists, we have attempted to arrange the videos in order, beginning with basic topics at the top and moving to more complex ideas. With this being said, if you just have younger children and you want to just watch the first video or two, you can totally do that. If you've got a range of students from first grade up to middle school grades, then you can have your children watch through all of them, as the videos towards the end of the list will have concepts and topics that get a little bit more in depth with the topic that we're studying. We have taken time to review all of the videos that we put on our YouTube playlists. However, we do just want to make sure that you are watching the videos with your students, because we can't control the ads that may pop up. There could be secular content, and we just want to make sure that you are keeping an eye on that so that you can skip ads as much as possible and are present during that part of this lesson. All right, the next slide here is about utilizing resources. So science living books at home. From our curriculum purchasing guide, you saw a multitude of really neat science books that you purchased for your students to have in your home classroom. Teachers will make every effort to include these books that you purchased, and it can be found on the science framework or on the curriculum purchasing guide, when applicable, on the Tuesday, Wednesday lesson plans. We want our students to have rich or literature-rich learning in all of their subjects. We hope our students can interact with the science topics through living books at home. Purchase books, so the ones that you did purchase, are meant to be a resource for your family, and they can be used at any time, not only when listed in the lesson plans. If your student is really interested in our plants unit and they want to spend some more time in the tree book, then feel free to do that. You don't need to just reference that when the teacher specifically puts it in the plans during that unit. Your child can reference it and look through it. You can read farther than the pages listed. We want you to make it your own so that your child is excited about science and that you're having fun teaching it with them. A great idea is to set out the relevant books for the unit that we're currently in for your students, your kids to browse on their own time as a way to encourage self or student-directed learning. During a specific unit, if you want to pull out all of your plant books and have them displayed or have them on a shelf or your school table so that your children can pull them out and read through them at any time, that's a great idea. K3. The science resources recommended in K3 are not required texts. We have selected books that will help families connect with what students are learning in school at home with their parents. If you did not purchase the books on the list, that's okay, but we do encourage you to check out library books or read books from your home library that help bring to life the topics they are learning in school. Another note on this, for our middle school grade levels, 5th through 8th, we had some required novels. Your students will be reading these throughout the year, and the teacher will assign specific chapters when they are covering these books. So in addition to the books that you have at home, our teachers also have resources that they can use with the students in the classroom. You will find, this is an example of that document, and you will find this in the science framework. These are not books that you need to purchase, but they are just resources that we are listing out so that you can see what our teachers may be using and pulling from when they're creating their lessons in the classroom. Again, you do not need to purchase them, but we put them in the framework for your reference. You'll also see in the framework a section called Optional Science Read-Alouds. A science read-aloud has been selected for each quarter as an optional way for families to explore science deeper at home. Feel free to offer incentives or reminders for students to read these books at home. But remember, it is optional, so if you don't get to them, that's okay too. We also have optional home experiments. We've added a once-a-month optional home experiment to our framework. This is a way for families to enjoy exploring science at home. Our teachers work to incorporate hands-on science activities at school, but parents sometimes miss out on the fun. These experiments are completely optional, but they are a great way to learn with your children at home. Science projects and challenges. Each class will do a science project at one point in the year. The goal is for students to take ownership of their learning, explore a topic at home, and to present what they have learned in class. In grades 5 through 8, we will be having middle school challenges. There will be additional papers and quizzes throughout the year for middle school students to prepare them for high school science and also to help them take ownership of their learning. So, just as a brief review, our science curriculum is designed so that we're integrating science into all areas of life. All of life is learning. We don't want our science learning to just be limited to school time. Get outside with your kids, let them explore. We're not bound by just standards and topics. We've got the freedom to spend more time on topics that students really enjoy. Learn as we go. Take advantage of those teachable moments with your students. If they're really into a topic, don't rush through it. Spend time, let them dig into it more. We want our science curriculum to be a mix of intentional and accidental learning, so students are discovering new things. Enjoy exploring. Have fun with the science curriculum and enjoy it with your students. Last, we'll just leave you with this Bible verse. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they display knowledge. Psalm 19, 1 through 2. Have fun with the science curriculum. We know it's going to be a great year.